So as you could tell from the title of this video, I ended up canceling one of the biggest shows that I had planned for this year. And yeah, that was really a hard decision. So you may have heard me mention it a time or two in one of my previous videos that I plan on attending the Muskoka Arts and Crafts Festival. That's coming up in the end of July, from July 19th to the 21st. And yeah, it's a really big show. Features over 180 exhibitors and features somewhere around 10 to 12,000 visitors, guests who go and attend the show itself. So it was a really big show, the biggest show that I ever applied for and got accepted towards. Yeah, I mean, it's Muskoka, which is a really big area with a lot of people, a lot of travelers, a lot of tourists, a lot of cottagers, and it's a completely new space for me to showcase my art at. So the main reason I wanted to head to Muskoka was to just basically gain some more exposure and to, hopefully open new doors to find new clients and ultimately to sell some art, obviously. It was a really big investment. I invested a lot of time and money to go to this show, and yeah, unfortunately, it's just not going to happen this year. Now, the main catalyst to this whole thing was I was doing a market right here in town, locally to me, and it was an outdoor show, just like the Muskoka show would be. And so I was kind of testing out my setup to see how I like it, and yeah, and just kind of recuperate some of the financial investments that I've been making over the last several months. And yeah, so unfortunately it was a really windy day, and the setup, well, there's two things about the setup. Number one of the biggest things was, well, the wind was not at my mercy at the show. And what ended up happening was midway through the show, the wind gusts got so strong that the whole tent blew over. The tent frame itself completely broke and bent in a couple areas. It's not fixable, unfortunately. And so that was a really big blow. Luckily, all my artwork was okay that I had. I already had like this gut feeling that something wrong was going to happen. So luckily, some of the bigger pieces that I had hanging up, I put them away literally moments before everything happened. And so at least that was the good thing from that. But the other thing about the setup was that, well, it was really challenging for me to set up on my own. And I had a really difficult time with the whole thing in general. And I didn't really love the overall aesthetic of it necessarily. I mean, the aesthetic was okay, but just the whole setup just wasn't sturdy enough for my liking. And this show at Muskoka is primarily to feature original artwork, so I just didn't really like the way everything was set up. And with the amount of time left, I just didn't have enough time or money really to figure out a new setup and find a new solution towards this. But yeah, it really did come down to what was best for my mental health over everything else. The tent thing, I can get a new tent. That's not a big deal. The setup, it was hard to set up, but sure, I feel like I could do that. I could figure that out on my own. All of that stuff, those were just like pieces to the puzzle. They were parts that were stressful, that were adding to the stress. But ultimately, especially when I was deliberating with myself what I should do, whether I should go or whether I should cancel, the biggest thing that I noticed was how much relief, or like that feeling of the weight coming off of my shoulders when I would just, you know, picture canceling the show and being able to let all of that workload off. Because one of the biggest things as well, I still had all these different projects set to do for the show specifically, because I want to bring artwork that will sell at Muskoka, that people from Muskoka will like. I had different projects that were specifically geared for this show. And ultimately, just thinking about doing those things and doing it specifically for a specific area, specific opportunity, I kind of felt disconnected from it. I felt like this passion of mine, illustrations, was becoming to really feel like it was a job instead of like something that I'm super passionate about, something that I really want to pour my heart and soul into. And so that was the other big thing about it, was just picturing myself canceling the show and not having to worry about doing all those projects, and just focusing on the projects that I really want to do and fulfill at my own pace and at my own time. And ultimately, yeah, I think it was the best decision for me to do. Oh, yeah. So it's definitely given me a lot to reconsider about my art career in general. You know, I'm definitely not going to say no to big opportunities like this in the future. I think it's important to, as artists, to put ourselves out there into big spaces like that. However, I realize now that passion needs to be the center of whatever I'm doing, even for large shows and big things like this. Sure, stress and all this kind of stuff is inevitable, and it will happen. But ultimately, I know that my work will suffer if I'm not fully present with it, if I'm not there, immersed in passion. I know that my work is going to suffer. And I don't really want to go and present that. And so, yeah, you know, I feel so good mentally in this space right now, not having to worry about this show coming up. I can just relax, do the projects that I really want to do, that I really want to pour my energy into, and then also enjoy this. To be able to come out here, you know, if I were going to Muskoka in a couple weeks, I wouldn't be here right now. There would be no way. Like, I would be at my studio grinding and trying to finish artwork because, like, you know, crunch time would be right now. And yeah, I do love to draw, and I love, you know, creating, but there comes to a point where, you know, we all need balance, and being able to bring all the other things that really bring fulfillment to my life, like going out on a hike and enjoying nature and stuff like that. I need that. That's necessary. And so, yeah, this was a really good decision, in my opinion. And yeah, I can't wait to create more different projects. I have so many different projects on queue. I'm so excited. I'm excited to bring those to life because, you know what? There's no pressure. There's absolutely no pressure because I'm doing it for me, and that's it. If it does well, it does well. You know, if it resonates from someone and it generates income for me, bonus. But if it doesn't, hey, I did something, I enjoyed doing it, and that's it. That's really ultimately the most important part about it. And so, yeah, there's been a few changes in my life right now. I mean, lots of things have been changing this year, like crazy. But yeah, ultimately, this decision to not... was a good one. Now, I didn't mean to jump cut this to the studio initially. What happened was my battery died in my phone, so I wasn't able to finish the video like I originally planned to, but that's okay. Life happens that way. So here we are. It's been several days later since that hike, and so yeah, I'm still feeling really good about the decision. You know, the event in Muskoka is coming up real fast, and I'm seeing, you know, posts about it on social media and stuff like that, and I'm, you know, feeling great that I don't have to go. Instead, you know, I'm excited to potentially, I have a trip planned instead, a camping trip, where I'm going to be, you know, creating art, gathering new inspiration and all that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited for that. Like I said, you know, closing this door is going to open others, and I think these are going to be much more beneficial. At least I could feel it in my heart, inside of me. They're going to fulfill me so much more in what I think will be the outcome of it. Who knows? We'll see what happens, because yeah, you never know what life will throw at you and stuff like that. So at the moment, the last several weeks, I've been really enjoying, really being present with where I am and what I'm doing, and being very intentional with the projects and the things that I've been creating. So it's really provided me with a lot more joy and passion, and overall a huge sense of fulfillment, which I think is really important. So, but enough blabbering from me now. I appreciate you guys watching these videos. It means a lot to me. You know, quite a few new subscribers are coming my way now, and to you guys, thank you so much. It means the world to me. It's also, you know, it's hard to put yourself out there, especially in like a more vulnerable state like this. But yeah, I kind of just want to try to have as much of a transparent, show the ups and downs, the good things, the bad things, the hard things, you know, overall perspective of what it's like to be a creator, an artist in today's world. And yeah, it's an exciting journey, and so I really thank you guys for following along, and you know, I'm excited to take you on more adventures and creative projects. So definitely stay tuned, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. I'm gonna finish this Lake Superior commission that I'm doing here, and yeah, just enjoy the rest of the beautiful evening. See you later, guys, and yeah, keep living that dream.